you. Good evening, dear colleagues and friends. Okay. I would like to begin my reading with a few points in Russian, which is not yet translated. We on the way with John to translate something, and then after this I would like to read a chapter, actually a first chapter of my novel Destination in English. This name, the title of the novel only exists in English without Russian translation. That's because I decided to refuse this slightly arrogant assertion that Russian language is richer than others. So the concept of destination and all the meaning of this word can't be, that's impossible to translate in Russian language by one word. That's why I choose this title. But the publisher in Russia anyway insists to put another one and another title in Russian, Road Pastoral. And this is very important. And this is a difference in between Kazakhstanian Russian literature and Russian literature in Russia today. I mean, because we can say that the Kazakhstanian Russian literature is more cosmopolitic than Russian literature today in Russia. But I'm not trying to fight him with languages, of course. I love Russian language and Russian literature. I'm proud that my native tongue is Russian, and I'm just trying to be fair and objective and remind to a global world, but having the opportunity to be myself. But the problem is that I still cannot understand who I am, and that's not clear what I want to remain to. I'm talking on behalf of the protagonist of the novel now, and this novel is my attempt to understand these matters. So I will start with the poetry in Russian. Синагога Пастернака. Я живу далеко и не своей жизнью. В каждой комнате здесь не более стула. Диктовать слова, закрывая глаза. Рисовать глаза, закрывая слова. Зарисовывая глаза. Под ночное шуршание по холодному полу. Дребезжание проезжающих стекол. Вот такая вот синагога. Понемногу пью, много. Я иду, шагаю, потом сразу еду зажатый. Город не теплый, северные полмира, улицу Кутузовский проспект, как перейдешь. Шарфики, фестивали в подвале, от креативных реклам рупором кричит Лиля Брик. Читать наизусть этого не задавали. Человеческое хоть что-то, идем с нами вместе, старик. Успеть на Ваганьковское. В гамме господа бизнесмены кашу едят. Люди у церкви говорят о далеком буддизме. Землетрясение ходит по комнате, ищет меня за проказы. Папа думает, оно ищет его за проституток. Мама думает, ищет ее за любовницу. Землетрясение думает, ух ты, какая звонкая люстра. Мы выжили, кто-то купил квартиру, кто-то дачу пристроил к сортиру. Нам пела Ветлицкая с барахолки, мы ночью по пьяни путали полки. Пили цветные ликеры в очереди в Авир. И был у нас выпускной, и война, и мир. And the last one. Белолунная походка лежит у самого полотна. 3 минуты до электрички. Рюмку найдет обходчик. Хлеб съедят воробьи. The sky above Lahore. I'm trying to think of something else. It is indeed hard. You have to picture the interior of your cranium as an empty room. Concentrate solely on its emptiness and begin to put plaster on the walls, floor and ceilings. You can also do the whitewashing. Then you spend 5 minutes dwelling on the blank emptiness of the room, smelling the whitewash. If all sorts of rubbish show through the walls, you can begin to imagine objects rotating in the center of the room. Anything that comes to mind. Think of them and nothing else. Buddhists call this meditation. When on the plane, I try not to think about the plane. When the entertainment program comes to an end, the map and telemetry fill the display. I can see that the tracking has been passed over to a Pakistani station. The plane will soon fly above it. We are currently gliding over snowy peaks, and somewhere down there is a K2, a high and a forbidden mountain. The tracking station is out there. I'm picturing it as a snow-covered porta-cabin on a dazzling slope. The footprints around it have been covered by the snow wall overnight. Bearded Pakistani men are having hot tea made with the melted snow, standing by the entrance in down jackets, naked ski hats and aviator sunglasses. They are looking at the rocky veins appearing here and there on the sparkling white peak. They are discussing something, pointing fingers, the possibility and beauty of an avalanche. One goes behind the porta-cabin and makes a yellow smoking ravine on the snowdrift, his back to the mountain. He lingers up there, zips up the coverall in one sweep, comes back to pick up his mug. His cup has Nike embroidered on it. Inside the porta-cabin, on a green military screen, there are blinking dots of us. In the midst of noise waves and lines of the scale grid, red. Behind the closed door, to not let out the heat, you can hear the alarm buzzer. Only the silence emanating from the mountain and the glare of the sun on the frozen surface of a metal mug. Before landing, I always look at the passengers I'm flying with. I'm glad when I see a lot of small children. I try to figure out God's reasoning. It seems secure. Still, had the plane been filling exclusively with young children, I would have been afraid anyway. I drink during the flight, wait for meals to be served, compose poems. For the most part like this. Children's arms of turbulence, hold faces in oxygen-less masks. These 7.5 hours of going crazy to Bangkok, I'm praying. 6 hours into the flight, it seems that if I stop thinking about the reliability of the aircraft units and stop praying, we will fall down. That is my mental tension keeping us in the air. The monotonous humming. I have never slept on a plane, and I have to fly a lot. A little turbulence can shake off the effect of a small bottle of red wine and a glass of beer. 8 hours into the flight, I begin to see near squared of rice field below. The PAX cabin flights go on despite the fact that enough light gets in through the windows. Passengers throw off their travel rugs. They line up to the toilet. Swollen faces. Skin defects are visible on everybody's faces, except the faces of flight attendants. I feel like looking out the window. There, the straight highway of Sukhumvit is floating past, and the smells of Bangkok come back to me. 240 of the 250 passengers of our flight will talk about it as an intermediate stinky horror on the way to some Pattaya. And only 10 people will understand the city, fall in love with it, sell their business, get a divorce and live for it. Or will be carrying the quiet grief of the absence. The plane clinches on contact with the runway. The PAX cabin is applauding. It seems to me that should the oxygen masks drop now, they would have been not masks, but wine glasses, tied at the steam. They would have been filled with the champagne through the piping and having drunk it. All the passengers of our plane would have left the same thing I did. The relief of those who have survived. Thank you.